humble. I'm the lion in the jungle. You just trying not to fumble. Rumble, young man, rumble. Never slip nor stumble. I take off, poof, magic. Now watch me juke through the traffic. Footwork fantastic. Dominating every facet. Treat the pocket like plastic. Here come the blitz, pass it. Got it on smash. Put in the gas. I will not crash. Honey, y'all dash.
Hey, everybody, it's the coach. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see the second-year man, Josh Allen, and the Buffalo Bills as they match up with Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Miami Dolphins. With that, let's get down to Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Standing by for the call, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Coach. From beautiful South Florida, there's a look at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. The excitement brewing here in South Florida as a moment ago. The Dolphins starters were introduced to this home crowd. They're fired up as well as they get set to match up with the Buffalo Bills. Hi, everyone. Brandon Godden, Charles Davis. Charles, you look at the Dolphins as they enter play in this one. They come in playing pretty good football. Winners of 4 of their last 6 games.
And it's the defense that's really the star of the show. A terrific game last week. They got a shutout on the road. And that's something that doesn't happen very often nowadays.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Bills, things haven't gone exactly according to plan to this point. But, boy, you and I down there with them before the game, they were fired up.
And they understand how important this game is. Win this one, they can start to think about a turnaround.
The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. So here come the Dolphins now as they get set to take over on offense. They'll be led out by their quarterback in his 15th NFL season, the man out of Harvard, Ryan Fitzpatrick. And from the outside, a lot of people thought, well, Ryan Fitzpatrick maybe just in a mentor role here, but don't tell that to him. As he mentioned to us, he thinks he can still play at a high level, and last year's numbers would seem to bear that out. He led the entire NFL in yards per attempt and yards per completion. He's still got it. They'll run with his second-year man from ASU, Kalen Ballage. And that is the kind of tackling they want to see all game, as he'll lose yardage to start things out. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. From the shotgun, it's Fitzpatrick. And this is Parker, complete. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. And here now a look at the Dolphins' offensive unit.
I remember when Laramie Tunsil was coming out of Mississippi and I was evaluating him for the draft in 2016. Ended up writing down a description that I tended to like, and I'm going to use it here now. He's got feet like a receiver. He's got a body like an offensive lineman and hands like a boxer. Put it all together, you got a heck of an offensive lineman.
On the delay, it's Ballage. And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down.
Well, this was just simply excellent defense. On this 3rd down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stuffed them for almost no gain.
On 4th down, Matt Hawk is on to punt. And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the Bills will take over the football with a 1st and 10. So here are the Bills now under 3rd-year man Sean McDermott. Bringing them out, the second-year quarterback from Wyoming, Josh Allen. And after the 2018 draft, what everybody knew was that Allen had great arm strength. But what folks discovered in his rookie season is how good of a runner he is. He finished second only to Lamar Jackson in rushing by a quarterback with 631 yards total, and had an NFL record 3-game stretch where he was over 95 yards. Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete. That one was intended for John Brown, but it'll be second down. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. LaShawn McCoy, the 31-year-old running back, his first carry. The limited running room as he'll get about 3 to the 21. A look at the starters defensively for the Dolphins. They were excellent a week ago in that victory over the Colts.
And they needed to be because their offense struggled throughout the game. Sometimes as a defense, you're not just shutting down the opposing team's offense, but you're outplaying their defense as well. And that's what they did in the last game.
Throwing is Allen on third. He'll get this one complete to Zay Jones. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game. But it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
This is away and a very good kick angled for the sidelines. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. From the 21, it's 2nd and 10. A draw play now. Balaj calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down. The threat of a second straight punt to start the game is looming as they come up 3rd and 10. They run it with Balaj. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up 4th down. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
Here's Matt Hawk now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And the fair catch is made at about the 27-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for. Is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's 2 different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs?
On 2nd down, it's McCoy, and he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss, and now it's 3rd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
On third down, Allen. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The big Tank Carradine with a sack.
And they're picking up right where they left off with the shutout that they pitched last week. A huge part of that, this pass rush. They know how to get after people.
Offensively, good luck finding some answers right now. Here's Matt Darr now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Here comes Grant on the return. Give him 11 yards that time on the return, and it'll be Dolphin football. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. Now Balaj. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. We're scoreless after one. On third down, Fitzpatrick. And that's knocked away and incomplete. Problems on third down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on third down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to third down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on first and second down.
Here's Matt Hawk now as he's on to punt for Miami. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. A reminder that coming up later tonight, a good one on Sunday Night Football. We'll see what could have been a playoff matchup a season ago. The Bears and the Rams from L.A. And then tomorrow night, Monday Night Football from down in Mexico. Mexico City, to be precise. The Chiefs and the Chargers going at it. Allen now on first down. And the grab by Croft.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
And not too much going there as he'll get it up to the 23-yard line. A gain of 2 there on the heels of a 1-yard pickup on first. So they fake the handoff. Now Allen. It's caught. Jones. A big gain of 28 as the drive continues.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. From midfield, here's Allen. Trying to lay one up deep. And that's going to be intercepted by the Pro Bowler Xavier Howard. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. So far, they've had 3 drives, 3 punts. Not good.
Not good indeed, because you've got to have something to show for being out on the field. Now, sometimes, if you have a game where neither side has scored, 3 punts isn't a bad thing. But when you're trying to set the pace, get up on top in a game, you've got to show better offense and find a way to put some points on the board.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Parker unable to get that one, and now it's second down. From the 21, it's 2nd and 10. To throw again, Fitzpatrick throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. Albert Wilson, the intended receiver there, and it'll bring up 3rd down. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. They'll run here with Balaj, and he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
Here's Matt Hawk now. He's been terrific so far. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. On the return, it's White. They'll call that a 61-yard punt. He got all of that one. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done. Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Allen hands off to McCoy. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
Here's Matt Darr now as he's on to punt for Buffalo. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Returnable for Grant. A 48-yard punt, 7 on the return. And that will come the offense as they take over. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. Now, if you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position game, though. Sometimes a better punter may actually determine the outcome.
Pretty nice work defensively there on the first down run as they hold him to a gain of a couple. Tremaine Edmonds, the Bills' leading tackler as a rookie last year, in on the stop there. Throwing on 2nd and 8, Fitzpatrick.
They've been playing sound fundamental defense thus far and able to keep this offense from creating a major dent on the scoreboard.
Able to force the incompletion, but still waiting for that game-changing play. You feel like it's coming, the first sack, the first turnover.
In a sense, they're playing old-school defense right now. The new-school defense is what you said, taking the ball away.
A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll send you up to Orlando. Jonathan Coachman is there, and he'll have stats and scores from a busy Sunday in the NFL. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Bills will be backed up to start the drive. They'll have it 1st and 10. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go, because they still have an opportunity to make things happen.
Shake it off. Give them a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
Delay of game, offense.
And that'll set them back 5. Now Allen throwing on 2nd down. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. On the counter, here's McCoy. And he is going to lose yardage here. Right now, I'm just wondering where they turn on offense, Charles. I know we're not in the 4th quarter, but 2nd quarter haven't scored and struggling to move the ball.
I don't think they abandoned the run game totally, but maybe you change up your tempos. Maybe you go a little bit faster, try and catch them back on their heels a little bit to try and accomplish what you want to get done.
Here's Matt Darr now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And taken right at the 35. Now a hit and a loose football. Now this is picked up by the Bills.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. We got it. We got it.
The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
A good pickup there on 1st as a screen pass gets him 8. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Allen, he's going to float this over the middle deep. And it's knocked away and incomplete. So plenty of action on the field, but no action right now on the scoreboard, at least as of yet. 0-0 is our score. As we send you up to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thank you very much. The NFL season going to be about 2/3 complete after this weekend. So lots to get to as we check out what's going on here in Week 11. We'll get things going with a good one in our nation's capital. The Jets in town to take on Washington. And in the 2nd quarter, it's the Redskins who are out in front. 2 touchdown passes for the veteran Alex Smith. From there, we'll head down to Charlotte to check on the Panthers at home at Bank of America Stadium. And at this point, they trail the visiting Atlanta Falcons. Devontae Freeman, 3 touchdown runs. Lastly, let's motor up to the Motor City. See what's happening with the Lions at home at Ford Field. And that game all square as they take on the visiting Cowboys. Meanwhile, in our game, to call it a defensive battle would be an understatement. 0-0 is our score. We'll be looking for something in that second half as we send it back to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. After a rare scoreless first half, these teams now just looking for something as the second half gets underway. This will be fielded at the 6. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Let's go.
Out come the Bills now as they'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. And we thought this game had the potential to be tight, maybe not this tight, scoreless as we start the third quarter.
And I love the way you use the word tight. I'm going to take it a little bit different direction here because it's not just tight on the scoreboard. I think both offenses have been tight in how they've played this game. No one's been
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Raekwon McMillan. The blitz works to perfection as he gets in there to dump him for a loss of 8.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
Everything about that play tells you about today's NFL offenses and what they're asking out of running backs. You can't just be a guy who can run the football. You have to be able to catch it as well, and he didn't get that done on that play.
And he comes back with one complete. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. An excellent pickup of 20 yards. Bills are certainly happy to have a healthy Tyler Kroft. Remember, he had a season-ending foot injury last year with the Bengals in Week 5. So the Bills get him, and he re-injures that same foot in May in OTAs. But out there now and says he's feeling pretty good. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
I'm going back to you.
From the gun, it's Allen. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the linebacker, Raekwon McMillan. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
So here are the Dolphins now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
From the 44, Fitzpatrick. And this is taken in one-handed. What a catch. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
What a catch and one-handed, and I'm starting to lose my awe about the play, and maybe I shouldn't. How much of this is the player? How much of it is the glove?
Well, those gloves, they do have a little grip to them, don't they?
They get that little extra tackiness to them now, and I know the guys in the NFL, the competition committee, some other places, they're talking about examining those gloves to see if they're having too much of an effect on the game.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. The intended receiver was Jakeem Grant, but it's going to be second down. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. Balaj. 1 yard, the official pickup there, so it's going to set up 3rd and 9. The 25-yard line is what they need here. This is 3rd down. Working out of the gun, Fitzpatrick, and that will be incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces fourth down. So on fourth down, Dolphin kicker Jason Sanders comes on. On the left hash, officially it's called a 51-yard attempt. And this is good. It was running out of gas there at the end, but he winds up getting just enough on it. And the Dolphins will jump out to a 3-0 lead. Well, some good news, partner. We will not have a scoreless tie as we finally get our first points of the contest here in quarter 3.
Yeah, just a field goal, but with the way those defenses ruled in the first half, that could be a big three-point play right there, couldn't it?
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here comes Josh Allen and the Bills offense back onto the field. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 14. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Working out of the shotgun. Here's Allen. And this one caught by Beasley. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. But the passing game right now for them, not overly impressive. Last week he hit on right at 50%. This week he's under 50%.
And it's not just on him. Protection, a few breakdowns along the way. That's made him get off the spot. Receivers not getting their way open downfield. The coverage has been awfully tight. They've got to all get together and find ways to make this passing game get in gear.
Fielded at about the 28. Just a net of 34 there following a punt of 44 yards. So now the Dolphins set to take over on offense. They've won 2 straight, and they lead this one as well as they come up on 1st and 10. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. From the gun, Fitzpatrick. Caught by Wilson. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9. They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. Here's Fitzpatrick. It's complete. Stills. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Give him 12 yards there, and the Dolphins have a 1st down. This quarterback now 5 straight completions here in this 2nd half. 1st and 10. Fitzpatrick, he's got Allen. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. That one good for 13 and a Dolphin 1st down.
1st and 10 at the 36-yard line.
Let's go.
Now a handoff looking right. Jerry Hughes on the stop. Three quarters have come and gone. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Miami. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the fourth quarter.
40, 180! Mike, 49. It's a party now. It's a party now.
They go play action. Fitzpatrick. And he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's third down. So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Now that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This will be kicked from the 42. It's a 52-yard attempt. And no, it doesn't get there. Hits the crossbar, bounces back out. He had it on line, but it comes up about a rotation short. So points so crucial in a tight game like this, but this kick off the goalpost, and that'll keep the score right where it is.
Yeah, it wouldn't have made this a 2-score game, but any cushion this late definitely would have helped. Now they need to ask their defense for another stop, and that's going to require some work.
Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. I tell you what, it's kind of hard to imagine. They have not scored a single point, and yet they're in this position, a touchdown drive here, and they're in the lead.
Normally, when you have 0 on your side of the ledger on the scoreboard, you're a little bit discouraged. But when they look over and see their opponents, they don't see a number that's way out there. They don't see a number they can't attain. In fact, they can get it right here on this drive and potentially take the lead.
They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. Now Allen throwing again, and that's complete to Brown. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling almost on the spot. That means they have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And he won't be close to a 1st down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Another carry, same story. 4th quarter, and he is in red numbers right now with a running game.
Hard to believe because you figure at some point you break off a run. But in this case, what we're seeing is just pure domination by the defense. I think it started with the scouting report. They got into what they were doing offensively, into their mindset, and now they're beating them to the punch on every snap.
Here's Matt Darr now as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. He gets us away. It's a good one. Drawing toward the sidelines. No returning this one. It sails out of bounds, and they'll spot it right at the 20. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a 1-score game. And you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets 1st downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those 1st downs, keep possession of the football. The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Devontae Parker, the intended receiver, and it's 2nd down. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Fitzpatrick. That's complete to his tight end, Mike Gesicki. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down.
So statistically, both of these offenses having a rough time getting a running game going. But, boy, what a nice play there defensively.
Tackling him behind the line, but you're right. You look at the numbers. Neither side looks on track in the ground game. And a great job on special teams to down it, as this will be marked out inside the 5-yard line.
You hate to give the ball away here in the 4th quarter while you're just holding a slim lead. But that punt, absolutely ideal. They pin them inside the 5-yard line. They give their defense a really nice opportunity.
Allen and the Bills now down 3-0, a little under 2.5 to go, and they're in danger of a 3rd straight loss as they come up on 1st and 10. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. The drive starts with a carry by Edwards, and that gets him a little room as he'll take this up over the 10-yard line. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. 3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th. So it's Bills football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Throwing on 2nd and 3. Allen will set up the screen to McCoy. And he'll get it up to the 12-yard line here. Now the Bills are going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. Now Allen. And that is incomplete. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
Allen going to go on 4th down. Pressure gets there, and he goes down. Now there's also a flag, but this might be on the offense anyway. Kind of surprised they accept the penalty.
The only thing that comes to mind for me is they want to move them back 5 yards because they feel good about their defense. But in most situations, you take the down. That's what counts more.
They go for it on 4th and goal, but that winds up incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And now, boy, the ball's going to go over on downs here inside the 10-yard line. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And this one now not quite over yet. Still 2 timeouts remaining defensively. And, boy, having that 3rd timeout would have really helped here.
And another example of why coaches really stress saving your timeouts for when you absolutely have to have them. They go over this all the time. Here's one of those situations.
They come up here with another shot from the 6-yard line, and it's 2nd and goal now. Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. Devontae Parker was the intended receiver, but now it's 3rd and goal. 2 incompletions haven't moved him any closer, and likely throwing again, you'd have to think on that he's going to bowl his way into the end zone for the Dolphins score. Kalen Ballage, his 5th touchdown now on the year, and the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage.
Well, it'd be real easy to say that they are firmly in control right now, but I'm looking at your face and I'm thinking I've got to be careful with that.
Well, it's a 2-score game. You're inside of 2 minutes. I think you can breathe relatively easily now.
Yeah, you can, but still, you got to stay vigilant. Can't give up anything cheap and easy. That could put you in some jeopardy.
Jason Sanders now for the extra point. It's up and good, and that'll increase their lead to 10-zip. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it's capped off by a touchdown run of 6 yards. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And a short kick, taking it about the 16. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Now the Bills offense gets ready to head back onto the field. And you're still in this game. I mean, yeah, you haven't scored. Offense obviously has struggled, but you're only 2 scores down, so all hope not lost.
Not at all, because we were talking about the NFL, and teams can score fast in this league. Quick strikes, you're right back in it. You're exactly right. Keeping hope alive.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Tyler Croft, the tight end, the one he was looking for. And that'll bring up second down. Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10. Now Allen. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. He was trying to get it to LaShawn McCoy. And now it's 3rd down. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Allen going to leave it on the draw for McCoy. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. Now the Bills will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just over a minute to go in the game. They'll go with McCoy. And this is going to come up well short as they stop him on 4th down. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Dolphins get the football in great field position. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that
They're
one.
down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
He's got his tight end on the corner route. It's complete. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that, because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
Going to give this time to the tailback. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. The Bills are going to go ahead and use their final timeout as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in the 4th. You'd have to think likely another running play coming here. 2nd and 11. They'll stay on the ground. Balaj again. 7 yards on the carry. Make it 3rd and 4 coming up. Charles, why didn't they just take the knee there?
You're asking the question that I'm asking as well, because we've seen a lot of football where coaches decide maybe they get a little greedy. I don't know if they're doing it for stats or for what reason. We've seen it happen in college. And how about in the NFL? The miracle of the Meadowlands. All they had to do was take a knee and the game was over. The Giants ran it one more time. Ball popped free. Philadelphia picks it up and wins the game.
What year was that?
1978. I think it was in November.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This will be, let's see, 38 yards out. Sanders' kick is good. And that'll push the lead up to 13-0. So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but it's still ate up time, got points, so while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And a short kick, taking it about the 16. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. What do you do here down like this in this situation? Do you maybe just pick something out of the playbook you haven't called in a while, or you call it a day?
You can do that, or you pick.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Eric Rowe. First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. And they've got this one in hand. No timeouts remaining defensively, so this one should just be one kneel and then handshakes. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. So a victory here for the Miami Dolphins, and they did it in shutout fashion. Impressive.
Would it be too bland of a statement to say they didn't have the greatest day offensively? I mean,
did enough, though. Did enough, but yeah, you're right.
Most games, it wouldn't have been enough. So they've got to go into the locker room and applaud their defensive mates and say, guys, you really carried us today. We'll try and get you back next time. But as for today, you guys are nails out there.
So for the Dolphins, they keep pace for a playoff spot as they move to 7-3. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the Cleveland Browns. Meanwhile, for Buffalo, they're going the wrong way as this will drop a